Hello, this is Mrs. Ward, and I am going to go over the review worksheet for the section on different quotients. So the first one, I have f of x is equal to 3x plus 1. Remember, for all of these, we are doing the f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So that's the pattern that I'm going to use for all of these on the review worksheet. And it's the same pattern that we expect you to do for the quiz. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find f of x plus h. So every place I see an x, I'm going to write x plus h plus 1. So this will end up simplifying to 3x plus 3h plus 1. F of x is just simply the 3x plus 1. So the next thing I'm going to do is take the f of x plus h and subtract the f of x, and I like to put in parentheses so I remember to distribute my negative sign. So I'm going to have 3x plus 3h plus 1 minus 3x minus 1, and this is all over h. I am going to cross out whatever equals zeros, and I'm going to have 3h over h. My final answer is going to be 3. Doing number 2, my f of x plus h is going to be 4 times the quantity of x plus h plus 2. So this will be 4x plus 4h plus 2. F of x is simply that 4x plus 2. So I'm going to take the f of x plus h minus the f of x, remembering to put that in parentheses to distribute my negative sign. So I'm going to have 4x plus 4h plus 2 minus 4x minus 2. Remember, this is all over h. The 4x's will simplify, and the 2 and the negative 2 will simplify, and I'm left with 4h over h. H is simplify, and my final answer is 4. Remember, I can't cross out that h until I just have one thing, or h is a factor. The next one, I have 3x plus 3, so f of x plus h is going to be 3 times the quantity of x plus h plus 3. So this will be 3x plus 3h plus 3. F of x is at 3x plus 3. So now I'm going to take the f of x plus h minus the f of x, putting in parentheses to remind me to distribute that negative sign. And this is all over h. The negative 3x and positive 3x will equal 0. Whoopsie, that's not that. And then the 3 and the negative 3 will equal 0. I'm left with 3h over h. The h is simplified, and my final answer is 3. Okay, now I'm getting into one where it's squared. So f of x plus h is going to equal 4 times the quantity of x plus h squared plus 2. Remember, this is actually x plus h times x plus h. And when I FOIL it, I'm going to get x squared plus xh plus xh plus h squared, and now I end up being x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. And it's never going to change. It's always going to be that. So I'm not going to show that work every single time. So I'm going to have 4 times this, which we just said was x squared plus 2xh h squared. And then here's that plus 2 on the outside. Distributing my 4. And now my f of x is simply 4x squared plus 2. So now I'm taking f of x plus h and subtracting the f of x. This is all over h, distributing the negative sign. The 4x and the negative 4x is equal to 0. The 2 and the negative 2 is equal to 0. So I'm left with 8xh plus 4h squared. I'm going to factor out an h while I copy it down here. And this is all over h. So The h's simplify, and my final answer is 8x plus 4h. Again, the f of x plus h. So this is x squared plus 2x h plus h squared minus 3. F of x is equal to x squared minus 3. So now I'm going to take x plus h minus f of x. Remembering to distribute my negative sign. And this is all over h. The x and the negative x will equal 0. The negative 3 and the 3 will equal 0. I have an h here and an h here. I'm going to factor that out and make it h times the quantity of 2x plus h. This is all over h. The h is simplify. My final answer is 2x plus h. Okay, negative f of x plus h. Negative 4 times x plus h squared plus 5. Negative 4. This again is the x squared plus 2xh. Now I'm going to distribute that negative 4. F of x is equal to negative 4x squared plus 5. Now I'm going to take the x plus h and subtract f of x. Remembering to distribute my negative sign. This will be plus 4x squared minus 5, and this is all over h. The 4x and the negative 4x squared will equal 0. The 5 and the negative 5 will equal 0. These both have an h. I'm going to factor on h. H is simplify. My final answer is 8x minus 4h. Okay, 7, x plus h. It's going to be x. Every place I see an x, I have to write that x plus h. In this case, it appears twice, so I'm going to write that x plus h 2 times. Now I'm distributing that 2. F of x is going to be that x squared plus 2x minus 1. So now I'm going to take f of x plus h and subtract f of x, putting it in parentheses so I do not forget to distribute that negative sign. And this will be negative x squared minus 2x plus 1, remembering that this is all over h. I will x squared, positive 2x, negative 1, 1. Those all equal 0. Everything that's left should have an h, and h. So when I factor on h, I'm going to have an h times 2x. This power gets reduced by 1. All over h. The h is simplify, and my final answer is 2x plus h plus 2. So 5 times the quantity of x plus h squared plus 3 times the quantity of x plus h plus 2. Distributing the 3. Now distributing the 5. F of x is at 5x squared. Now taking the f of x plus h and subtracting this. putting in parentheses so I do not forget to distribute my negative sign. And this is all over H. At this point, the 2 and the 2, oops, she should be red, sorry about that. 2, 2, negative 3x, positive 3x, negative 5x squared, positive 5x squared. Now I have this, this, and this all left with an h. I'm going to factor out that h. I'm going to have h times 10x plus 5h, because I reduced that power by 1, plus 3 over h. The h's simplify, and I'm left with 10x plus 5h plus 3. And that's my difference quotient. So, squaring that, distributing my 3. Now I'm going to distribute my 4. My f of x is just going to be what's up there. Now I'm going to take f of x plus h and subtract my f of x. Distributing my negative sign. And this is all over h. Now the negative 4x squared should simplify, the negative 3x should simplify, and the 5 should simplify. Everything I have left has an h in it, so I'm going to factor that out. Now my h is simplified because now it's a factor, and I can simplify it. And that is my difference quotient. Last one. My f of x is what's written up there. Now I'm going to take the f of x plus h part and subtract my f of x, remembering to put in the parentheses to distribute my negative sign. And when I do that, and this is all over h. And then I like to start down here, really, right after this minus sign. So I have negative 4x squared. I should have a positive 4x squared somewhere. Negative 2x, have a positive 2x. 5, negative 5. Everything after this, like this is my f of x, that should all simplify. If it does not simplify, that means you made a mistake somewhere along the way. Everything that you're left with, these 3 terms here that I'm left with, all should have an h in them. That's an h. Simplify, and I'm left with 8x plus 4h plus 2. And that's it. I hope this helps, and I will see you next time in class.